What's up, guys? Knowledge of self-determination. Back at you guys with some more boxing/documentary review. I just finished watching the boxing documentary Counterpunch, where they highlighted, in part, the careers, the lives of some young and up-and-coming talent. And in fact, it was mainly focused on fighters out of New York, actually. It focused kind of around the a particular gym in Brooklyn where the kid, they called it Little Beehive. What is it? Man, I can't remember the kid's name. I think it's Corey Colbert. They call him Little Beehive. Now there are appearances in the film, in the documentary, by Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoya, so on and so forth, and Sam Watson had an appearance in here. He spoke a little. The gym is called the Atlas Russo Kids for Boxing. It's something like that. I know that Teddy Atlas works in conjunction with I think he's a retired NYPD police sergeant, and they show some up and coming talent. Like I said, the kid they call Little Beehive. They showed the kid Cam F. Awesome, who actually I just became aware of him on a video, a collab video that he did with Phil from the Advice Show. Actually, that was recent. And to turn around a few days later and watch the documentary with him in it, it was pretty decent. It was a pretty decent documentary. I mean, to give you a little bit of insight into the world of boxing, you know, from the lowest levels, basically. In contrast, you know, guys who were just starting out versus guys like Peter Quillen, who have been champions and fought on the big stage. But there also seemed to have been a lot of criticism for Al Haymon in the maybe not a lot of criticism for Al Haymon, people I guess just speaking their minds or whatever, but I'll play clips of some of the things that Oscar De La Hoya has said. Bernard Hopkins threw some digs at Al Haymon also by questioning certain motives and or actions of Peter Quillen, who was an Al Haymon fighter. But Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoya really had the most to say, throwing Mayweather under the bus, saying that fighters don't fight for belts and glory anymore. You know,
the fighters are not fighting for the glory, for the honor, for the respect. It's all about the business. I mean, who in their right mind gives up a championship title because they don't want to face the best in their division? That's just unheard of. In my era, you just don't do that.
And Oscar De La Hoya, he basically was saying, you know, you fight for the belts. Like, why would someone give up their belt, so on and so forth, instead of facing the best competition? The hypocrisy in that is he advised his fighter, Canelo Alvarez, to give up his 154 WBO title that he won from Liam Smith. He advised him to give that belt up. Right? Canelo gave up, or rather, it was the middleweight belt that he won from Miguel Cotto. He dropped that belt in order to not fight Golovkin. Irrespective of anything else, he dropped that belt.
Who in their right mind gives up a championship title because they don't want to face the best in their division? That's just unheard of. In my era, you just don't do that.
Anything else, he dropped that belt. The 154 title that he won from Liam Smith, who Demetrius Andrade was going to be his immediate title defense. Canelo decided to go up to 164.5 and fight Chavez Jr. and then travel down slightly to 160 and settle there and fight Gennady Golovkin. So he won the belt in the division, left the division, and doesn't plan on defending that belt. What was the purpose of winning the belt in the first place? Basically, I just wanted to highlight, just take this opportunity to give my review of the documentary, but also highlight some glaring contradictions. One person cannot ruin a sport, because Mayweather didn't create these fights all his own. Promotional companies, so on and so forth, the sanctioning bodies, everybody who was a part of the fight, even down to the dude who sweeps the peanut shells from under the seats. Okay, maybe they don't really have anything to do with the business aspect of the fight, but still, there are more people involved in the fight than just the two guys in the middle of the ring and the referee and judges. There's way more people involved in a fight. It takes hundreds, thousands of people to make a fight go off. A professional fight, a professional level, high level fight, especially championship fights, it takes a lot of people for those things to come to pass. How is Mayweather being blamed for ruining a certain aspect of the sport when the promoters are the ones who put up the money in the first place? The promoters are the ones who set the ticket prices, the pay-per-view prices, and this, that, and the third. It's not just the fighters. It's everybody who has something to do with the event. But Mayweather's the bad guy. Well, I have to throw this in there. If Mayweather ruined boxing, does Oscar De La Hoya believe that having Canelo leapfrog through all these different divisions, never actually fighting in an actual division, gaining belts from the weakest links and then vacating belts so he doesn't fight champions they can beat?
Out there who think that they need to have an undefeated record to be relevant, I think they're very misguided.
I contribute that to Mayweather. That's the Mayweather effect. Thinking about business and thinking about the fight second.
But I think it's a pretty good documentary. Check out the documentary on Netflix, Counterpunch. It's pretty decent. I mean, it wasn't that long, but you know, it gives you a little bit of insight into what you have to do as a fighter coming up, how dedicated you have to be to the sport. I mean, and it was a good little look into the lives of these individuals. I thought it was pretty interesting, and it gave me some new fighters to actually look out for. So check it out.